Good afternoon. My name is Arihan Singh, and I'm a student of Class 9 at the Bombay International School. I'm deeply honored to be here today, and I'm thankful for this opportunity. Thank you, Millennial X, for having me. So, we can describe almost anything with numbers. These numbers are my story. No, it's not. It's not 7 times 2 plus 1 equals 15, although that is true as well. Let me tell you what these numbers tell you about me. I'm 15 years old, and like any teenager, I love many things, but I'm deeply passionate about two. One of them is tennis, a sport that I've played and competed in from an early age. And my other developing passion, mission, and fascination is for museums. Yes, it is somewhat unusual, and that's what my story today is all about. I'm on a mission to make museums accessible to all. I want our nation to be a museum superpower, and I especially want children from disprivileged sections of society to be able to enrich their learning and gain valuable exposure through a structured program that gives them curated access to museums. When I was 7, my parents took me to 4 of the great museums of the world: the Louvre in Paris, the British Museum, the Victoria and Albert Museum in London, and the Vatican Museum in the Vatican City. At first, I was uninterested and bored. Hadn't they heard of Disneyland, I wondered. But the more time I actually spent there, the more I began to appreciate it. Art to textiles, coinage to jewelry, great heroes and great moments. It's all there in these museums, like some grand parade of civilization. Over the years, I have visited so many museums covering diverse subjects from war to computers to tribal culture. In fact, a couple of years ago on a class trip, we visited Dholavira in Gujarat, and I saw the ancient site of the Harappan civilization and a museum next door. As my curiosity sparked, I eventually returned to the Louvre in June this year, where this picture was actually taken. So we imagine time travel in science fiction, but all you actually need is a visit to a museum, and you can learn about thousands of years in a day. But museums are not only some trove of old and precious things, they are an active platform for learning. Those who don't appreciate history can never make sense of tomorrow, can never make sense of today or make sense of tomorrow. A visit to a museum is immersive. It is learning at your own pace. And who has a richer history and cultural heritage than India? Unfortunately, large part of our heritage has been taken away abroad, and we Indians need to claim our heritage. One good way is to visit our museums in India and support them and strengthen them. And there are various types of museums. The best ones are those that provide greatest of engagement and interaction. In fact, many of the world's leading museums have also put their collections online. As you can see, the world's leading museums are mostly in Europe or the United States. However, China is determined to be a great power in the world of museums. China is building museums at a breakneck pace. In the year 2000, China had less than 1,200 museums, and in 2020, it had 6,000. I want to put India on top of this list, and we can all do something about it. Now, we all know India is the most populous and youngest country in the world. 40 crore Indians are less than 20 years of age. As per 2021 estimates, 25.7% of Indians are less than 14 years of age. That is a staggering 18.4 crore boys and 16.6 crore girls. But across the world, more young people are getting opportunities to learn from museums. Regrettably, India has no structured program to send kids to museums, and we must change that. Museums are amazing in their diversity, and as you can see, There are museums dedicated to glaciers, bread, bananas, dog collars, burnt food, and yes, toilets. In fact, this museum is right here in Delhi, in Mahavir Enclave, and is run by Sulabh International. As a school student, I can only do a tad bit on my own, but when we all join this cause, we can change the situation. That's why I've started the Museum Learning Network, through which I hope to connect millions of people to their nearest museums. I am also raising funds to enable school students to go on day trips and excursions in Mumbai. I am writing about this subject to raise awareness. I am using every opportunity to speak about this issue, and I am reaching out to all the stakeholders, including government authorities, to strengthen this endeavor. Please support my cause and make it your cause too. Write to me and let's be in touch. I thank you all for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arihan, for that presentation. The forum is open for audience questions. Anyone would like to ask any question to Arihan? Yes, please. Can we have the mic?
Hi, Arihan. It's good to know that your passion. Just wanted to know, have you visited Varanasi?
No, not yet.
Okay. I would highly recommend you. There is a Bharat Mata museum out there.
Right.
We visited last month, so it should be in your book, database. So we really congratulate you. Generally, at your age, people have less interest towards museum. Right. So how did this passion started?
Like you said, my generation isn't that interested in, going to museums, and like I got to know that from many of my classmates as well. So I actually wanted people to visit museums more, and as I showed and I talked about in my presentation, abroad there are so many museums. Such as, I can give you an example. Recently, I went to Sweden and I went to the ABBA museum. Right, ABBA is a Swedish band. And I saw that they created such an enriching and interactive experience, telling you everything. And I don't think there are many museums in India that create such an experience. And I don't think India gives that much of a significance to museums as they do abroad. So I wanted to do something about it, which is what initially, sparked my curiosity, and that's what started. That's what led to this.
Any more questions for Arihan? Okay, seems fine.
Thank you.
Just be at the center stage. Thank you, Arihan. Well, that was my question, which I really wanted to ask, that the interest into robotics and museum access is very, very interesting, because nowadays I know a lot of people really don't go to museums. I think the last museum I visited was Doll Museum. Uske baad shayad jana hi nahi hua hai. So thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for encouraging all of us to actually go and visit such museums. So I'd like to request Mr. Niranjan Singh, the CEO for India Euros, to kindly come on stage and give a token of appreciation to Arihan.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.